Hi, Alan Stout again with Cedarwood Distribution, and I'm going to grade another bundle of shingles, 16-inch shingles from another mill. This is one of the few American circular sawn mills, and they are typically make a very nice product. So let's just go through it. This particular bundle we were using for some samples. We've taken like 3 shingles out of it, and so we're gonna put it back into a box as we go through it. But let's look at the wood. So, beautiful, wide, consistent, little narrow, not mad about it. One narrow, very nice and wide. The kerf on the saw mark is worse on one side than another. On the other side, you can't even tell that it's there. That's exciting. Perfect. Getting really consistent. This is nice kind of rainbow color of wood. That means it came from the coast. I think this is just a sanding difference where it hit the edge of saw blade there, the fuzz, because there's nice structural integrity to that shingle. Fine. Beautiful. Beautiful. A little narrow, not too bad. Very consistent, very consistent. One little knot here on the edge. I'm not upset about it though. One tiny knot, still technically off grade. This is too narrow. Slight milling defect there, and this particular bit of wood, I would actually, if I'm at the mill, I would actually cut this off. So if I saw this on site, I'd cut this off because this is where you're gonna get decay pretty quickly. Perfect. Good integrity on the wood, so that's just a pigmentation of the wood. Perfect. Fuzz from the saw, but not bad. Perfect. Perfect. Some issues, some pigmentation. Sometimes wood has a different coloration because at different times of the tree's life, it probably had better conditions. Maybe a tree next to it blew over or fell down and got burned up, something like that. That can happen. The tree has different growing conditions all of a sudden. Perfect, beautiful, wide, very wide, lovely shingles. Now we're towards the middle, where normally we expect to see people throwing a little bit of junky in the middle. Well, I got one little bit where the tip's a little bit rugged. I'd still use it on site though. It's beyond 12 inches. It's beyond what you're gonna typically install shingles at, so I'm okay with that, even though it's off grade. Perfect. I've seen a lot of really consistent, nice grains on these. Really consistent. The milling is very good. One split here in this particular shingle. Nice wide shingle. There is such a thing as too wide, but because you don't want it more than 11 inches, otherwise you have to use additional fasteners. Usually it makes more sense to just split them on site if that's the case. Perfect. Fuzz, perfect. Perfect. Good. Tip's a little bit rough there, but not something I'm worried about. Here's another tip with a little roughness on the tip. The rest of that shingle is so nice. I would just, if I'm putting it on my house, I'd go ahead and use that one. It's not too bad. Perfect. Flawless. There's some variation in the butts, but when people think that the butts are where you know everything, and that's part of it, but if they are a little bit rough, you really don't notice the butts on the sidewall or even on a rooftop. It's not something you notice. You notice how does it function and what does it look. These are really an architectural grade. We got another split here, just a little crack in that one. The rest of these are really nice. Spider. A little narrow. So compared to some of the other mills that we've looked at, not that many narrows. Beautiful wide, beautiful, perfect. A little narrow again, perfectly wide. A little defect up here, not even worried about it though. That could have just happened from a strap. So you're not going to notice it on the site. It's not going to affect the integrity of the job or the work. Nice. Uh-oh, this one's too wide. This one's huge. This one you might want to cut down in half. It's a 1-pack, we call it. So my review of this one, this mill's wood quality is gorgeous. Very little sweep in the grains, almost no sweep in the grains. So these truly following the grading rules for number ones. The saw patterns, they're nicely sharpened saws because while there's a little bit of kerf on some of the shingles, you can hardly tell. The width on these shingles is a lot wider, so it's probably coming more from the trunk of the log as opposed to the stump of the log. And overall, the feel of the wood is very sturdy, very stable. Coastal wood, inland wood's a little bit sturdier, but it's mostly coastal wood here. I'm not upset about that at all. I think it's very fair. And he's asking for a little bit more than what we're seeing in the market. And I think his product commands that as such. So I would use this for an architectural finish, on any show points in the house. And if I'm looking for something that's not gonna cut corners, I would use these unreservedly. So these are beautiful shingles. I'll buy them again.